Good morning, boys and girls. I hope you've been enjoying the drawing lessons. I sure have missed you guys. Hope you're having a good summer. We're going to draw a really cute cat today. So this is our piece of paper. It's vertical. That means up and down. Make sure you turn your paper so it's up and down. And we're going to start with our eraser, drawing a nice big circle. Now, when you look at the line, make sure you have room for his ears and that his cheek doesn't touch the side, but that you're really close to the side. So ears and close to the side, a big circle. I'm going to go ahead and do this with a Sharpie so you guys can see it better, but you go ahead and use a pencil. So now I've got my big giant head for my cute little kitty. Nice big circle. I have room for 2 ears, and his cheek doesn't touch the side. The next part is going to be his back. When we do his back, we have to leave a little room over here for his tail. So we're going to make sure he has kind of a wide neck, because kitties don't have a little skinny neck, especially not when they're sitting. So we're going to make a big curve out and then straight down. Now, you don't want to go all the way to the bottom because we do have to wrap his little foot in here. So I left a few inches at the bottom. And this is where his tail will attach. Okay? Then the second line, you want to come over to the side of the body, not all the way over here, but pretty wide. You see how I left a little cheek there? And you're going to come straight down again. Notice that this is kind of equal, and I left room for a paw. Now, you don't want to give him super skinny legs, so make sure you can put at least 2 fingers in between your legs. You want to go about halfway up. So if you look at this distance, about halfway up, and you make a straight line, then you skip a space about the same distance, because these are his front legs, and you make another line. Now look at your legs and make sure they're not super skinny, because they have to support his body. Okay? If they are, just move them over a little bit. Make sure you can fit at least 2 fingers. Probably 3 would be better. Okay? Do you have room for feet down here? And do you have room for a foot over here? If you do, you're ready to go on. Otherwise, pause and set him upright. Okay? Now, for his toe, we want a wide curve on this side and a wide curve on this side. And then it's pretty easy. We just go from here and we curve to that paw and we curve to that paw. See how his little paws are sticking out sideways? We also need to give him a back leg. One of his legs is under his belly, so you cannot see it. So what you want to do is look at where these legs end. You're going to come over here right in the middle and make a little dot to start. So you're all kind of lined up in a row here. Then make a big C curve that does not touch that foot. A big C curve. And you come down to here. See, that's a nice C? This is where his last paw will get. We actually want his paws to all be about the same length. So when we put this paw in with a small curve, just like that one, curve, and then we just bring this in to that line. There's his little back leg. Now we can see a little bit of his belly. It's not really low. It's more up here at an angle. So there's a little bit of his belly. Now, if you wanted to show a little bit of the other paw, it's not necessary. But if you wanted to, you would draw just a little bit of a paw from the other side. Do you see how that's coming in? You can leave that off though. Now we need to put in a tail. Now you can have any kind of tail you want. You just want to give it a little bit of a curve for a cat. So I'm going to go out, go up, and then curve it around. Do you see how I gave that to him? Now if your tail goes a little bit off the page, it's okay. Watch what I'm going to do here. This is where it's attaching to his bottom. I'm actually going to go off the page, and then I'm going to come back in and make it a little bit pointy at the end. And there's his cute little tail. So we're ready to start his face. If you're not caught up, be sure to stop your video and then get ready when you have this part ready. Okay? Let's go on and finish his face. So his nose is a triangle. Try not to make a really narrow triangle like this. We want to make a wide triangle. Not like this one, more like this one. So right in the middle of his face, I'm going to write a wide triangle. And then we just put a line on top, and that's where his nose is. So we just need 2 U shapes, but try to make them a little wide. So we go down and then back up, down and then back up. See how they're kind of wide? We're trying not to make them really teeny. Okay? Great. Now that is a really cute face. You can see already that he's nice and happy cat. Let's go ahead and put his ears on. Now, a lot of times when people make kitty ears, they just go up and down. But kitty ears actually go out and out. You're going to see that right here. So I'm going to start up here at the top and curve and curve. Do you see a little bit difference there? Try not to make this part right here really, really narrow, more of a wide ear. I'm going to go over to the other side now. Curve out and curve out. And now he has 2 little cute cat ears. If you wanted to, you could actually put like a little zigzag in here for the inside of his ears, and you could paint the inside pink, which would be kind of cute. So for his eyes, there's so many ways to do his eyes. We're going to do one way. Okay, so I'm going to come up from his nose, straight, straight, okay, and then we're going to make a really high curve. Watch, really high curve, almost touching his ear. Really high curve, almost touching his ear. And his eyes will fit in this space. You can do round eyes. You can do diagonal eyes. I'll show you these ones I'm going to do. Curve up, curve up, curve down, curve down. You'll notice they're kind of at an angle, but if they're not at an angle, they'll still look really, really cute. Okay. Next, we want to put an oval shape in the middle that's pointy on the top and bottom, kind of like a football. Curve, 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 curve. You can also put a little tiny curve in the corner for the white part of the eye. Little tiny curve in the corner. Isn't he cute? Okay, the rest of him is just details, like what you want to add. So his whiskers don't come out over here. They come out basically right here on the edge of the jowls or over here in the cheeks. You never want to touch the nose. So leave the nose alone, and I'll show you that I usually bring them a little farther out here. I bring them out to the cheek, but you could make them touch this part here or this part here. I like them better on the cheek. So watch. 1, 2, 3, and then I do it on the other side. 1, 2, 3. Make sure you don't touch his nose. Now, some people like to stick a little tongue out here. That would be really cute. I'm going to go ahead and put a cat collar on. So I'm going to start with a big circle. Realize it's hard to write in these little tiny spaces. So if you write a little short name, it's so much easier, like 3 letters or 2 letters. I'm going to call this little kitty Joe. J-O. Just like that. But if you wanted to do something else, it's just a little hard to fit it in. So I'm going to start here at the neck and curve to the cat collar. Curve to the cat collar. You need a second line. 1, 2. And this makes his little cat collar come around the side. Now, kitties don't have little tiny sweet nails, but you can make them write really sweet, but I like to make them look a little bit longer, just so they look more cattish. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now, some fun little details. You could stick a bow on his head. But I'm going to do a little bit like, kind of like a tiger cat. So I start on his back and I make these really nice V shapes going down his back. See how that makes him look more like a tiger or a tiger cat? I even put those V shapes on his knee. Look how cool those look. I also like to put him down the sides of his legs. Notice how I go both directions. They don't need to line up with the other side of the leg because they're two different legs. So I put 3 V's and 2 V's and 3 V's and 3 V's. Doesn't matter how many, whatever you think looks good. I could even come in here and put another one in there. But I think he looks really cute. If you add those triangles there, it's a nice thing to put some wide triangles on his forehead and maybe a couple on his cheeks. Look how cute this kitty is. Well, now that I have triangles and I'm making him kind of like a tiger cat, I think I need to add some to the sides of his tail to make him look more like a tiger cat. I'm going to put him on both sides of his tail. Look how cool that looks. This is a really cool pattern that actually looks good on a snake too. You can see that when you're looking at his tail. I think he's quite cute. Now, I never like to put my cats so they look like they're floating in space. So I always want to put a little bit of background, like he's sitting in the grass, with an irregular zigzag running right behind his back. You could then add anything you wanted. You could also color him. You could add a little tongue. I want to show you one that I painted that has a little bit different things. So take a look at this little kitty. Is that silly? This one I actually added teeth to. His eyes are not slanted. They are straight across. I actually traced his face with a zigzag to make him look kind of scroungy. I did the same thing with his tail. Look at the pattern I did on his tail. And look at the spots I put on his back. You can tell how I did this one very similar and yet different. I even put in a crooked whisker, like maybe he'd been in a fight. To me, this cat looks more like an alley cat, one that maybe was fighting a little bit. This one looks a little bit more like a sweet house cat. You can decide, and you could pause your video on this one so you could copy some of the ideas, or you could leave it this way, or maybe you have an idea of your own. Anyway, have fun coloring it or watercoloring it, tracing it, or maybe oil pastel, or even painting it, whatever you'd like to do. I would love to see a copy of your picture. If you and your mom or dad could send it to me, I would love it. Some of these I even post on my website, BonJonArt at gmail.com. Also, if you do want to subscribe, be sure to subscribe and then you'll get told every time I do a new lesson. Okay, have a good day and I'll see you at the next video. Bye.